So if you follow the kind of Ken Roczen train, obviously after the win and all that went with it, Suzuki back on top, Ken Roczen back on top, the good heart, everybody happy for him. Well, coming after that, a couple days ago, 6 days ago now, as I'm recording this, his father, Heiko Klepka, had an interview with, I don't know if it's with these people or they just posted it, but it's on YouTube, MXT or MX Talk Essel, whatever. So if you want to watch it, I'll leave a link in the description below because there's a lot he talks about. But the first thing he comes straight out and says is that Chase Sexton ran a frame not the same as Ken Roczen's, but the same as Tim Geiser's, who is the Honda champion for MXGP, or defending champion this year, sort of. But we're not going to get into that. But basically, they run two different sets of rules. MXGP can run, the year ahead, non-production, whatever you want to call it, whereas American side of motocross, they have to run a production bike. Has to be able to, obviously there's trick parts and a whole bunch of fun things, but for the most part, it's a bike that you can go buy from the showroom floor, and you could buy the suspension, you could buy all the, fun bits if you wanted to, but it's still a production bike. MXGP, we saw this year earlier where Kawasaki's running the next year's bike. This is something that's not the people can't go buy right now. It is the next evolution of their bike because obviously they want to run the best that they can. You can't do that over here. So his straight up, accusation or whatever you want to call it, saying that they only gave the frame to Chase Sexton, which one would be a break of the rules, I guess, if you want to go that way. Two, they said they only had one, and Ken Roczen couldn't have it. He goes into a lot of other things too about how the team hired somebody that didn't have any experience or was fired from another team, and why would they hire him? Because if he's fired from one brand, he's not going to be good for another. And there's a lot of things like they hired some guy who only has a couple years experience, and if you want to watch it, I'm paraphrasing a lot of stuff here because it's an 8 or 9 minute video, and we're not gonna go word for word. But basically, the big points are: one, Honda didn't give him the same frame, or an illegal frame, more likely. Two, they apparently didn't listen to anything he was saying about what needs to happen. The bike needs to change this way, blah, blah, blah. And his father basically comes out and says, if Honda listened to him, he wouldn't have had the big crash initial and the first arm break. And there's a lot in this. I mean, basically saying Honda cheated, giving Chase Sexton a bike that shouldn't have been there. They didn't cheat for both of them because they wouldn't give it to Ken Roczen. They hired bad people. They didn't listen to him. They caused injuries for him. There's a lot of stuff. So, I don't know. If you want to go watch it, go watch it. And it's kind of hard to follow because he's speaking in German, obviously, and he speaks fast. So the subtitles, you got to have to slow down and watch it. But in the comments below, you tell me, do you really think this is true? Because obviously, for a big brand like Honda to risk running a cheater frame in 2022, however you want to say it, I don't know. And you got to say, Honda's a big enough brand that you think they should be able to accommodate, I don't know if that's the right word, a rider of his quality. Not going to give him a bike that's not winnable. I mean, look at Suzuki. Obviously, they're going to put everything they can, but I don't know. Comments below, you tell me. Do you think this is all just his father being, his father and trying to prep him up and no, none of it was his fault, it was all Honda's fault, whatever? Or do you think it's actually true? Maybe, they figured Ken was leaving, he was on a contract year, he wasn't going to stay, so they weren't going to give him the best bike they could, and they were going to give it to Chase Sexton to make him happy, be the number one guy. But whatever you want to do, leave it in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, subscribe to all the fun things this platform allows you to do, because playing the YouTube algorithm game, it really helps me out, and I appreciate it. And with that, I'll see y'all later. Peace.